to our YouTube channel, the Google Developers. I'm going to take you through photography, and you're going to be recording. You're going to be screen recording as we are retouching this image of ours. Yeah, we shall start by opening it. Our location shall look for the raw image. Yeah, and this picture was shot by a Nikon D610. I'm using a camera raw of 1.2, a camera raw of 1 of 12.0. Yeah, 12.0, and we shall start by color grading, because camera raw is made for color grading in Photoshop. And I'll start by color grading since it is a raw image. We shall start by looking at the image. We shall start by looking at the image and see the colors that we are having in the image before color grading. Yeah, and then we shall start with the lighting. That is this first panel that you're seeing here, that is having the exposure, contrast, highlights, shadows, and the whites plus the blacks. And then we shall have the temperatures. The temperatures, just here in photography, temperatures, we use this side to make our image a little bit cool, just as you see it, and this side we shall make our image a little bit warm. You get? That's the difference. So now I usually make my images a little bit warm before playing with the lighting and contrast conditions. So now we shall start with exposure, just pushing it a little bit higher, the contrast a little bit higher. We shall drop down the highlights, and then a little bit the whites, and then shall come back for the shadows and drag them a little bit higher. We shall go for the blacks a little bit lower, and we shall add some bit of the textures and the clarity. Yeah, now we shall go to the most confusing part, that is the hue, saturation, and luminance adjustments. We shall start by the luminance. Luminance is just the intensity of a certain color, because you can see all these panels represent different colors. We're having the reds, oranges, yellows, greens, aquas, blues, purples, and magentas. So now we shall start by dragging the oranges, since our model is having that orange skin color tone. We shall start by dragging down the oranges. Then we shall come for the reds to just pop out the color of the lipstick. The greens, since we're having some greens in the background, just put them a little bit higher to make them intense. And then we shall come back for the yellows, having the yellows on her hair. You're having these yellow flowers. They're the ones that we want to pop up a little bit. Yeah, just a little bit there. Then we shall come back. We shall go for the hue slider. Now we shall play with the orange, slider, by putting it a little bit at 3, and then we shall come to the reds and push it to the color that is next to oranges, which is this side. Yeah, and then we shall come for the greens, for the yellows. For the yellows, since we're having some yellows here, we shall push them a little bit to the yellow side like this, and then shall come for the greens and then put them to the green side like this, to make the greens more popping, and then the aquas shall push it to the green side to make the greens more popping and intense. Then shall come to the saturation to saturate the colors in our image. So now we shall start with the oranges, just pushing them a little bit higher to make the model's skin tones pop up, and then the greens, to make the model's background pop, since we are having a green background which represents nature. So now we shall go to this slide of the calibration. Then we shall play with the saturation to a little bit at around 20. That is the saturation that I use normally in the calibration slider. And then that will be all without color grading. Let me show you where we have come from. This is the before and then the after. Before and after. You can see the difference. This is what we call color grading in Photoshop using the camera raw filter. Yeah.